WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American in Germany tasting rare and exotic whiskeys. And today I'm in Scotland. I have here a Spica 29-year-old blended Scotch whiskey, non-chilled filtered, cask-strength, distilled 1989. Ooh, that was an important year for Germany. And bottled in 2019. So it should have been 30 years, but somehow a couple months were missing. One of 1,000 bottles, 45.5% alcohol by volume. Very, very good. This is the limited edition, basically number 2. And what I'm going to compare it with is number 1 from Spica, which I have here, which is the 20-year-old. And what I'm going to do in a moment is going to compare it to the 40-year-old. This is a picture for the gods, isn't it? So 20, 29, and 40. So it should have been 20, 30, 40, but somehow it didn't work out. All right, so we have here whiskey base number 128798. We have a European and apparently American oak as well in here. And we have here price over here in Europe from about basically 90 euros. 90 euros is for a 29-year-old anything whiskey extremely low priced in my personal opinion. So here we have the Spica. Oh, I wanted to see what I paid for this. I think I still have it on my list here. Let's see here. Spica, is it still there? So I'm going to pour a little bit. So I have to be the right list here. Wait a second. Spica. I paid 70 euros for this. I paid 90 euros for this and 160 for this, which I still think are fabulous, fabulous prices here. All right. This is 45.2. This is 45.5. This is 20 years old. This is 29 years old. I've actually used this bottle before in blind tastings where I've said, hey, we have 18-year-old or older Scotch. I did not say single malt, I said Scotch. And often this wins or is in place number 2. And then I say, yeah, it's a blend. They say, no. I say, it's a blend. They said, really? I said, yes, it's a blend. They said, I like blends. I say, apparently. And it's just like, wow. Blends are not evil. Blends can be beautiful. Depends on who does them. Think John Glazer, think Compass Box. All right, so very, very good. So one of 1,000 bottles. This was 2018. This is basically 2019 bottling. And this is the 2020 bottling. Yay, brand new. So let's nose. I love this. I like this. This is a little bit my problem. It's still, and I know what the main problem is. This bottle's almost empty. It's taken about a year now for me to get it down to here because it's one of the bottles I savor. And this is one of those neck pours. As you can still see, it's still in the neck. Now, why didn't I wait and say, hey, why don't I wait until I have it at least down below the neck? Well, that's not the way I do things. I tear open the bottle, I pour a whiskey, I do a video, and then I did samples. And so I actually sampled this entire bottle, and people, my super fans, my fans are actually going to get 5 and 10 CL samples that they bought from me. Over here in Europe, it's legal to do that. It's legal to send whiskey with the mail. It's legal. I have a business license, whiskey online trade, so I can do that as well. And therefore, it's possible. Now, there are a few brands that will not allow you to do this because they say you cannot guarantee the quality of their spirit. For example, Ardbeg. I can't do anything from Ardbeg, and I think also Middleton is one of the brands as well, or Pernod Ricard, actually. They do not like you sharing their bottles at all. And so I steer away from those products if all possible. I steer away from those products. All right, good. So on the nose, as I said, I get darker, richer chocolate with a plum and a fig and a little bit of sherry and a lot of wood and a dark chocolate here. Over here, I get a lighter note. I get not a dark plum, but more of a red plum. I get a light sherry note. I get a little bit more of a grain, a little bit more of an alcohol moment here. I get a stewed fruits, stewed apricots, stewed pears, stewed, so I just said pears. And a little bit of raisin and figs over here as well. All right, so let's try them. 54.5, and over here we have 54.2. 20 years old, 29 years old. Mm-hmm. I like. It's a little bit hotter than this is. The It's very difficult to tell how much is grain and how much is malt. I can't do it. Maybe you can. I did in my German video dilute this down to about 20 or 30%, and I just basically ruined it. It was water, 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 water. Oh, look, a little bit of oak at the end. So this is a somewhat fragile product. Don't put too much water in here. Even if I did put a little bit, if I diluted it down to 40%, it really doesn't do much good for this. It separates the flavors a little bit, and it doesn't make it any more of a harmonious type of experience. There's a little bit more of a leather moment here, especially in the nose, than here. There's more chocolate here. Much more chocolate. I prefer the 20-year-old, to be honest. That's my personal opinion. Whiskey from the viewpoint of an American over here. And there's a lot more of a bitter type of oak note at the end here. Maybe even a little bit of bitter type of hazelnut, a little bit of a bitter type of nut, the nut skin. Yeah, tannins. It's not the best over here. It's good. This is going to be like a B minus whiskey, maybe even a B minus whiskey. I'm sure the lower it gets down in the bottle, the better it will develop, the more it will actually become a monster in its own right. But at the moment here at the top of the bottle, it's good, but not great. In comparison to this is actually fairly good. Much rounder, more toffee, more caramel, and also especially the alcohol is much rounder and smoother. Now, age is not everything, unfortunately. If you put a barrel into a condition that allows it to have very low angel share, maybe at the very darkest, maybe dampest place in the warehouse, it'll just sit there for the 30 years and not do much of anything. And that's okay. Some people want to have that. Is older naturally better in taste? I'm not sure. I've had some pretty good 14-year-olds. I've had some pretty great 15 years old. It's the older you get, it's not necessarily the better it becomes. The more expensive it usually is, yes. And so the value for money for this, for the 80 euros that I spent for a 29-year-old whiskey, my rule of thumb is anything over 18 years of age often costs up to 10 euros per year. That'd be a 290 euro bottle, which I'd kind of think about. It was 199. It was like, oh, maybe. And this was 80 euros. So it was like, oh, I'm going to buy this immediately. That was just without even an afterthought. It's like, oh, yeah, of course I'm going to buy this. And this for 160 was even for 40 years. It's like, where can you get any whiskey in the world for that price? It's just unbelievable. North Star Spirits, thank you very much for having this opportunity, or giving us this opportunity to try such old whiskey. Is it the best in the world? No. Is it good whiskey? Is it solid whiskey? Yes. I'm going to give this, as I said, a B to B minus. Value for money, I'm going to give it a B minus to C plus, because I just think it's amazing. 29-year-old spirit for that price. Will I buy it again? Probably not. Will I buy it again maybe for a blind tasting? I do tastings now and so on. Probably. I would actually like people, I'm going to do one day maybe 25 plus blind tasting. It's going to be 100 euros to come in and taste 6 different whiskeys. I'll put this in there and you're going to go, oh, this was fantastic. It's like, okay, that was cheapest bottle. That was 80 euros. Everything else is 300. And I'm going to do a little bit of a trick-a-do on them with that. All right, thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for liking. Thank you very much for subscribing. Thank you very much for sharing this video. Not many people have the opportunity to try a 20, a 29, as well as later on. Next video will be a 40-year-old whiskey. It doesn't matter if it's blended or not. These are some good times in the whiskey world, to be honest. All right, thank you very much. See you soon. WhiskyJason here. Bye-bye.